Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun. At an average distance of about 228 million kilometers. Like the other planets in the Solar System, Mars was formed approximately 4.5 billion years ago. It is half the size of Earth. Scientists have theorized that during the Solar System's formation, it was created as the result of a random process of runaway accretion of material from the protoplanetary disk that orbited the Sun. This is a dusty, cold, desert world with a very thin atmosphere. Mars is known as the red planet because iron minerals in the Martian soil oxidize, or rust, causing the soil and atmosphere to look red. Elements with comparatively low boiling points, such as chlorine, phosphorus, and sulfur, are much more common on Mars than on Earth. Its northern hemisphere is flatter and lower than its southern hemisphere. It is less dense than Earth, having about 15% of Earth's volume and 11% of Earth's mass, resulting in about 38% of Earth's surface gravity. The day on Mars lasts 24 hours and 37 minutes. 1 year on it is 687 days long. That's 1.9 Earth years. This is because it is further away from the Sun, so it takes longer to orbit. The axial tilt of Mars is 25.19 degrees. Relative to its orbital plane, which is similar to the axial tilt of Earth. As a result, it has seasons like Earth, though on Mars they are nearly twice as long because its orbital period is that much longer. It is a rocky planet. Its solid surface has been altered by volcanoes, impacts, winds, crustal movement, and chemical reactions. It is a terrestrial planet with a surface that consists of minerals containing silicon and oxygen, metals, and other elements that typically make up the rock. Like Earth, Mars has differentiated into a dense metallic core overlaid by less dense materials. Current models of its interior imply a core consisting primarily of iron and nickel with about 16–17% sulfur. The core is surrounded by a silicate mantle that forms many of the tectonic and volcanic features on the planet, but it appears to be dormant. Martian crust is made of iron, magnesium, aluminium, calcium, and potassium. The average thickness of the planet's crust is about 50 kilometers. The vast upland region of Tharsis contains several extinct volcanoes, which include the shield volcano, Olympus Mons. Water in its liquid form cannot exist on the surface of Mars, due to low atmospheric pressure, which is less than 1% that of Earth, except at the lowest of elevations for short periods. The two polar ice caps appear to be made largely of water. The volume of water ice in the South Polar Ice Cap, if melted, would be enough to cover the entire surface of the planet with a depth of 11 meters. Landforms visible on Mars strongly suggest that liquid water has existed on the planet's surface. Mars has a thin atmosphere made up mostly of carbon dioxide, argon, nitrogen, and a small amount of oxygen and water vapor. It has two moons named Phobos and Deimos. There are no rings around it. At this time, Mars' surface cannot support life as we know it. Current missions are determining Mars' past and future potential for life. Dozens of crewless spacecraft, including orbiters, landers, and rovers, have been sent to Mars by the Soviet Union, the United States, Europe, India, the United Arab Emirates, and China to study the planet's surface, climate, and geology. The first true Mars mission success was the Mariner 4 flyby in 1965. It made its closest approach to the planet on the 15th of July 1965. Mariner 4 detected the weak Martian radiation belt, measured at about 0.1% that of Earth, and captured the first images of another planet from deep space. As of 2023, Mars is host to 13 functioning spacecraft. 8 are in orbit, another 5 are on the surface. Planned missions to Mars include the Rosalind Franklin rover mission, designed to search for evidence of past life, which was intended to be launched in 2018 but has been repeatedly delayed, with a launch date pushed to 2024 at the earliest, with a more likely one sometime in 2028. The current concept for a joint NASA-ESA mission to return samples from Mars would launch in 2026.